I'm going to triple check that because I'm harping on that a lot and I want to make sure I'm 100% right. I'm like 99% sure. We'll talk about the pistol before we get into that too much.
MVP's got the knife.
Yep. The MVP's got the knife. So they're going to get in the comfortable side nice and early on. And TYLOO, they've had some pretty bad teak sides tonight. This is going to be a teak side where, look, I'm not even going to set the bar that high, TYLOO. Get me 4 rounds. 4. That's it. That means pistol is huge for them. If that'll get them half the rounds they need already.
Maybe even more.
Maybe even more, that's right. So TYLOO heading over towards this B-bomb site. No smoke, actually. Bentet's got a molly. They're going to do the head boost. That's going to be the molly onto CT Con where Zion is standing, so the rotators won't be able to come in. Going to be the jump throw. They can line it up, and then the flashes. There it is. No rotators going to be allowed in here today, and Zion's going to have to play by himself until help can arrive.
Yeah, just backs away. Actually, a nice shot, though, onto Summer, who continued to push forward. Spotted the player next to Oil Train. And MVP have gone for the full retake. Here comes the rotation across once that Molotov has faded. And MVP, what is Zeph doing? He's just pushed on forward. Been such a distraction that Zion gets an easy shot into the side of Attacker's head. And it's all Bentet left alive. He might be able to still win this round. Can't connect the shots on the player in the smoke. Pulls out the knife, but it's not going to matter. Zenith finishes it off. 1-0. MVP start off nicely here in the pistol. So, you talked about the pistol for TYLOO. It's not an option now. It's going to have to be 4 very hard-fought rounds this time.
The train match that TYLOO actually won wasn't in the grand final. It was in the upper bracket final.
Okay.
And that was the map that they took in that best of 3. And they lost Mirage and Inferno. Okay. So that's the only time I feel like TYLOO and MVP have played it on it in recent memory. Force Spike comes out after MVP do grab that pistol. Decent strategy being displayed there for TYLOO, but this is definitely a winnable round. Bentet, AK and armor. Attacker, AK and armor. And even the other lads. I mean, Excurate and Summer no slacks with the Deagle. Somebody can definitely make that CZ work, so this is a dangerous bite. Talk about a key player on the CT side for MVP PK. The 2 people I'd be looking at is Zeph in this SL area and Zion holding the Inners bomb site by himself until rotation from Zeta can come out. Those are going to be really key guys to watch because they're in very critical positions. Zeph can maintain control of that SL and a huge important portion of the map on train, and Zion holding down Inners by himself while everybody else works that out of bomb site TYLOO. They're winding up this Ivy split here, but they haven't cleared Zeph out of SL just yet.
Yeah, there's so many players here for MVP to lock the bomb site down that it's going to be very tough for TYLOO to make inroads here. Stax has already started it off nicely. Zeph, the spray down doesn't favor him too well, but there's still just too many players here. Like, look at how many threats that TYLOO have to deal with as they get into the bomb site. Sure, they've got a bit of damage out there. The AKs go over into the hands of MVP. Well, an AUG was picked up for Stax. Nonetheless, 2 pretty good guns. The FAST comes through as well for MVP. You can't be disappointed with that round.
And if you're wondering why is there 4 players for MVP on that outside bomb site, it's because Zion is at lower ramp. We saw him spotting earlier. The OB switched over to him. He hasn't seen anybody even touch that inner bomb site. Why is there? There's no reason for a CT to rotate in towards inner until anyone puts pressure or emphasis on that part of the map. There's no reason for Zeta to rotate through CT con, so he's going to chill right where he is. And TYLOO, they're going to have to deal with all those players. Ooh, nice nade there from Zeph. And we actually saw MVP the last time they were playing this map.
I love it.
Yeah, Zeph is actually nuts in SL. This is probably his best position on any map. In general on train, this guy is crazy.
Spots the bomb as well, obviously falling all the way down SL. No, my favorite thing about the SL fights is like when you get the headshot through the feet. It's like, come on, how did that happen?
Yeah, you can't walk, you can't think. At least you can wave your arms as you ragdoll down into SL.
Yep, okay. Pretty grim, but all right.
Basically become a wacky inflatable tomb, man.
This is about the dream start for MVP, though, on this CT side of train. You've had, you've won the pistol, obviously. You've dealt with the Force Spy pretty aptly. The anti-eco, 5 guns alive for MVP, so they've really secured a pretty decent economy already. And a few kills going on to Zeph there as well with the SMG. So here we go into another gun round for TYLOO. This time a better buy round, of course, for both sides. Zeta has upgraded to the AUG, which has put him down fairly low in the money department. Zion has spotted a skew toward B. We'll have to throw down the incendiary early.
Here's an interesting point from the last train game these two teams played. Actually, we'll look at this inners play first from TYLOO. It's coming out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, flashbang through there, but it's set at the peak regardless. He'll get the opener. Zion, interesting from him, pushing aggressively, does get Bentet. Attacker turns around for the frag, and now it's on to Zeta alongside the players coming in from Z Connector. Stacks gets the guy on the site. Bomb is still planted though, so TYLOO always in with a chance, but Zeph might just shut that one down. If he gets the timing right here, which he does, Summer has been spotted as well. Someone has to get on the bomb fairly shortly though. Smoke is there, and Summer, is there a way that he can still win this round? If he peeks around and hits that head, well, never mind that.
I got a question for you, Jordan.
Okay.
How many rounds do you think TYLOO have gotten on the T side of their other two maps?
In this series?
Combined.
Well, it was 2 on Mirage. Train was... Dust, I should say. Sorry, yeah. Dust. 5 or 6? So I'm going to say like 8.
Last time they played MVP on Train, TYLOO got 9 rounds on T side.
Okay.
And they closed out the game on the T side.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. That's better than they've done on their other two maps on the T side so far.
What did they actually get in these other 2 maps?
I don't know. I'm just asking you what you think it was.
Okay.
It wasn't very many, right?
No,
they didn't have great T sides.
Yeah, it would have been like less than 10.
But when they beat MVP on this map, they had a lot of T rounds on the board. They had a good T side.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the T side here actually for TYLOO is pretty important.
I'd say it was, because the first half was pretty back and forth. It was like an 8-7 half when TYLOO were on their CT side and MVP were on their T side, which is what you'd say is a pretty good T side for MVP, right?
Yeah.
7 rounds on Train.
Yep.
That's great.
That is great. It's not a good start though for TYLOO.
No.
So if they want to get to that 8 mark, which they got last time.
9. Even 9 on
yeah.
the T side.
Regardless, I mean, this is not the way that you go about it, is it?
Not yet, but still plenty of time to get straight back into things. They need to start to strike soon, though. Another nade stack through those windows, which is something we've seen from MVP before. Pressure onto the brown halls, gets the rotation in from Zeta to help out Zion towards inner. TYLOO. What's the play, lads? Bit of pressure on the extremities of the map. Now, surely should start to think about where they're going to head towards in the late round. Looks like a shift towards inner, potentially. Somebody in Bentet making their way towards their attackers, join them in the halls.
Nice timing on the smoke, though.
Smoke over outers towards the sea, towards Ivy, it looks like. Yeah, it's bounced into Ivy. But until they clear Zeph out of SL, they can't really fake inner and go back to outer. It is going to be a commitment to the inner bomb site. So Zeta and Zion are going to be the 2 men to hold, and they don't have any utility to do so. So they've got to be hitting their shots here.
On the dynamic duo from the A site defense on Mirage, they did it time and time again there. See if they can do it here on B site Train. Zion playing around the bomb is going to be spotted from the player on upper, and that's nicely done from somebody just on top of the oil train. He cleans up Stacks as well. It's a much better entry to the site. TYLOO 4v2. But Zeph might have something to say about this. Around the back, there's some low HP players there for TYLOO. HSK gets another Excura drops as well. And now we're into a 1v2. Zeph tapping the bomb. Attacker, where does he go from here? Making a bit of noise now, and Zeph knows where he is. Takes the peek. The trade is there.
The molly on the bomb?
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not going to last long enough anyway.
Well.
Nah, HSK's got this.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for the man. Wow. After somebody got those 2 frags, I thought this round was over, Jordan. But MVP, man, on these retakes, these CT retakes tonight, these guys are on fire.
Yeah, the thing is, though, MVP are continually having to reinvest. So money is still going to stay low.
It is. And TYLOO's built up quite a bit of loss bonus on top of the bomb plant. But as we've seen from MVP on Mirage, that loss bonus isn't necessarily going to be enough. I mean, at this point it will be, because they had a bit of money left over in the bank, and they got the bomb plant down.
Man, you got to think as somebody, like, what more do I have to do to win a round?
Oh, man.
This might not be the one, though, for them. Zeph, again, you highlighted him playing from SL.
Untouchable, man. TYLOO, they just look how scared they are of it, and they don't want to go anywhere near SL. They're going to try and flash him out this time, and it does. actually hit him.
Well, he's done a lot of damage to Attacker there as well, but Bentet and Attacker open things up. Still, it's, again, still a winnable round for MVP. These players on TYLOO, one of them's very low. Attacker goes down as well. Stacks is going to have to be the linchpin here because Zion's been spotted.
Indeed.
But the bomb hasn't been spotted.
Stacks is going to wrap around the back.
Or planted, I should say. Zion and Stacks joining each other.
Somebody's walked through cons, so they're going to go towards B here. Somebody does have a smoke for the late round as well. I don't know where he's necessarily going to throw it, but it's going to be a pretty hard round for MVP to be winning.
Well, you would have said the 2v4 last round is going to be a hard round for them to win as well.
True. Now starting to work it out and connect the dots now, though. Bomb goes down. They didn't hear that bomb plant.
Yeah, but they've still got a fair bit of time here. Defuse kits on both. A lot of utility for Zion.
Somebody's gone walkabout into CT. He's going to let them out connector.
Oh, is he?
Walks back in time.
They've not checked it properly enough. Stacks does get the trade, though. But he still has to find Summer, and there are so many angles here. And the bomb planted very, very open. If he sticks it, does he actually get this? No, Summer peeks. I wondered if Summer was going to let him get that. But TYLOO do finish off the round. One player alive, though. Look at the money for TYLOO.
Look at the money for MVP, mate. You were talking about it before.
I mean, it's not great on either side, is it?
No.
But I actually don't mind this from MVP.
Stacks is going to buy an ult for Zeta.
Yeah, I think this is the right play. These rounds have been so close. If MVP pulls this off, the half is theirs for the taking. If they lose it, it's like, well, you know what? You're probably ecoing anyway, so...
I almost feel like it's not even if MVP pull this off, right? Like
when?
The amount these guys scrape together, these like really lackluster buys where somebody has like an SMG and someone's got a pistol and it's like they win it. They do it all the time, mate.
I'm very, very keen to see what happens in this round.
The two players that went really ham for MVP when they played TYLOO on Train last time was Zion and Zeta. Very far ahead of everybody else. I would usually be putting the emphasis on Zeph, but it looks like Zeta had a really good game on the ult, and Zion had a great game on the T side and towards inner. Zion had like 110 ADR and pushed him over the top in a pretty... Oh, sorry. TYLOO won it in a close game. But those two lads were going pretty ham.
Well, Zeta's in a good spot here to actually make an impact early, which is how you win a round like this. The molly will go through, so he knows there's someone there. Flashbang now, but is he going to take the repeat? That's the question. Decides to just back away from the line. Pretty tense times here for TYLOO. You lose this round and there is big problems ahead. Stacks opening up. 2, in fact, for him, but it's a 2-for-2 trade.
There's the push in the mid-round, but Bentet seems to be ready for it. That's a key one to be winning. Shuts down Zion. No information gained for MVP, and he's going to go take Inners. HSK in position, doesn't quite make the most of it.
He's only got a CZ. You can only hope for so much, and it does allow Bentet across. HSK can't actually calibrate the aim eventually. And Zeta just going to save the AWP. It really almost lined up there for MVP. 1 or 2 of those aim duels, and they would have won that game, that round.
Here's another key talking point as well. Just going back to the last match's stats on Train between MVP and TYLOO. You talk about Zeta, who had a really good game. And, you know, one of these interesting stats that you get from HLTV is first kills and clutches won.
Yeah.
First kills in a game that MVP lost 16-13 to TYLOO was actually 20-9 in favor of MVP when Zeta had a good game. So it's like, I feel like this man probably went pretty ham with the AWP, and the entries are going well for them on the T side. But the clutches one was in favor of TYLOO. So it's going to be interesting to see how TYLOO goes versus MVP in the late round. Are they going to continue to win those clutches? It looks like put them over the top in that last game, which was very close. And is Zeta going to have another good game and get a lot of these entries, get a lot of these openings?
Well, it has been the mid to late rounds, actually, in the last 2 that TYLOO has found their impact from.
Yeah.
The early fights have gone kind of even.
And even in that round before, it felt like in that mid to late round, somebody did a lot of good work, and then MVP sort of somehow miraculously came away from that round. TYLOO should even have more than 2, I feel like, at this point.
Zeta's still got the AWP here, but, oh, gee, that was sharp from somebody.
The man's 5 and 6, but the kills that you're seeing him get are like huge impact kills, and
Stax wants the AWP. He's not going to be able to get it easily. There's somebody all over it, and he decides the AWP is mine now. It's going to be another recontest here for MVP to try and retrieve the weapon. Somebody backing away. Does hear the push out from those two CTs, and well, he suffers his own life for it, but end of the day, not a big deal for TYLOO. Finally starting to get that economy rolling, assuming they get out of this round with 4 guns. It's looking better for them now. TYLOO making inroads on the T side.
Here's the problem for MVP. Economy's not stable enough to afford them an AWP if they want one.
If they force.
Not really a force. It's like pretty good buy, but it's just not good enough to get an AWP. But on train, can be pretty annoying. Actually, Stax is going to glass cannon one. He was the only one who could afford.
Yeah, you kind of get the sense that like he actually would back himself. He's 8-1-4.
He's the Ivy player as well, so not a terrible position for it to be taken into. Somebody looked like he was about to just go straight down lower ramp and get in there, but decides against it. Lots of emphasis on towards Ivy here from TYLOO. So they're going to start to make their way over there, which indicates that Ben10 and somebody are probably going to try and put pressure on Zeph and pick him in towards SL while the rest of TYLOO do split through Ivy here. Stax posted up on the angle. Zeph puts out the Molotov that was expended towards SL. How does Stax miss that?
And he re-peeks straight into Execute, who's definitely not going to miss it. That could have changed the round, but it won't. Maybe Zion still can, but he can't quite connect onto the head of Summer, which is what he really needed there. So Zeta on his own. The investment from MVP hasn't worked out this time.
TYLOO, I mean, they could have even had more T rounds than this one if that retake hadn't come in.
Yeah.
And MVP got off to that 5-0 start. They could be even in a better position. So the other maps, it doesn't even make sense really. Like, even maps like Dust 2, TYLOO doesn't look that convincing on the T side. Then Mirage, another map that sometimes can be T-sided, they don't look that impressive. What's the T-side that you'd never be winning if your T-sides are generally weak? The least T-sided map in the pool, and they look like they're just cruising. They're so impressive. And at the moment, I mean, MVP, they're not getting those first kills, those openings on the AWP, whether it's Stax or Zeta. They're not really making the most of it.
No. The AWPs aren't having the impact for MVP here on the CT side. And we talk about that all the time when we talk about trades, so have to go for another eco here as MVP. Zeta still retaining, I should say, the AUG from last round. But it seems unlikely that MVP is going to find much success here. The flashbangs do go through and they're good. How has that happened? 2 for 1. Zion gets another, so 3 for 3 overall. How is Zion there? And what
run up
is
SL.
that round?
They've run up. So I'll tell you what that round was, okay?
That's like they're playing Mario Kart.
So here's what happened, all right? The clean entries, when they run out lower ramp, you see Zeta and HSK get these kills, and not all of TYLOO was there right at the start, but as soon as that push comes in, the other players, after those first couple TYLOO players fall, who could have been watching SL, go towards lower because they've lost players. They've got to go trade those kills, and as soon as those kills are so clean at the start from MVP, and that rotation gets pulled, that allows Zion to come up SL. He just goes straight up there and he comes in from the flank. Here comes that boy. That's a huge opportunity that MVP, they looked hopeless in this game so far. It felt like TYLOO are in a fantastic position, and that's a huge break that's been given to MVP because their economy wasn't so good. But now they do have the utility. They have all the rifles. Zeta's got the AWP. This is an opportunity that shouldn't be afforded to them, and TYLOO's given it to them. So they better make the most of it, because TYLOO's looking scary on this T side. Now their money's starting to get a little bit lower. This is MVP's opportunity. This is not just a 7th round. This could even be an 8th round. This could be back in safe territory on the CT side.
It's very important for MVP. I mean, you already talked about this for TYLOO. If you get to 4 on the T side, that might be enough.
My opinion's changed a little bit now that I saw how the last game sort of panned out. It seems like TYLOO's actually got a pretty strong T side on train.
Oh, yeah. But even to the point of how strong their CT sides have been tonight, 4 rounds on the T side feels like kind of a pass score in a way, right? You can make that argument.
Yep. TYLOO, they haven't flushed Def out of SL this round in particular. Fancy's going to try and walk out Ivy, but Stack seems ready for it. The rest of TYLOO, oh my god, what a shot from Fancy. That might pull the rotation. Zion starts to walk back. He's caught in no man's land. Zedda's left alone on the site.
Oh, he's got so many. What?
Oh,
I just don't know what to say.
He legs
hits that onto attacker as well. God damn. This game, every single time I watch it, MVP and TYLOO, you just can't get excited enough for it.
It's a double flank coming in. Looks like Summer's looking for that player towards CT Con, but he hasn't come yet. Attacker's alone on the bomb site with 15 HP, the jump up.
Oh, well, no trade available there. He just drops straight back down. Great shot from Attacker. TYLOO, they're straight back into it. 5 rounds on the T side and MVP. The money is just cooked.
Massive speed bump avoided there by TYLOO, because their money would have been cooked if they lost that round. And Zedda, imagine if that shot just connects with the chest instead of the leg. That's the round there for MVP, a round that they shouldn't have even had in the first place. But anyway, MVP, they don't get it. Despite how close it comes down, they do not get it. So now they're going to try to use these pistols to the best of their ability. Economy's still shaky for TYLOO, so every kill is absolute money in the bank here for MVP with the pistols here. So far, so good for TYLOO. Haven't lost a player. Taking out Seth.
HSK going to try and push the issue. Deagle here for Stacks. A bit of damage done, but nothing too relevant just yet.
Zedda last alive in towards upper. Probably not going to be making anything happen. So only one gun loss for TYLOO means T-side money going to start to build up for them. 6 for 6. MVP. Got to be getting a little bit worried at this point.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they feel confident in their T side.
I think they do have a good T side, but by the same token, I don't know, man. Alright, what's the money looking like? Very good for MVP. This is their chance. And this has got to be a convincing one, because look at the money on TYLOO.
Yeah.
Only lost one player in that round. They've still got plenty of cash. They continue to buy into not only the next round, but maybe even the one following. If they don't, it'll be a single save. And heading into the last couple of rounds of this half, that's pretty unlikely. So I'd say they're going to be buying out the rest of this half, which means MVP, they need clean rounds. In this 13th, 14th, and 15th, they need the money to be able to contest the buy of TYLOO. And if they don't have it, then that's going to give TYLOO freebies that they don't even need at this point with 6 rounds. Utility exchanged at Ivy, over towards Inners. Somebody's taking control and putting a little bit of pressure on that part of the map. Looks like they were about to line up the run boost, but the smoke comes out for MVP. So TYLOO just taking their time, spotting out that SL area. It's been Bentet who's just been keeping tabs on Zeph, who, I have to say, TYLOO have been doing a pretty decent job of locking him down. He only had one really great round over towards that SL area.
Yep.
And since then, he hasn't really got a whole lot done. So now TYLOO, after just spamming out that part of the map again, Summer's throwing the utility towards Ivy, which is keeping MVP's rotations honest, and the rest of TYLOO are grouping up in towards Inners. This is a recipe for success. They're going down the checklist every time, but this time the difference maker is that Zeph, they deal with that Ivy player.
Zion not able to get anything done. It may be Zedda to be the hero for MVP. He at least delays a little bit for TYLOO and keeps the numbers advantage there for the CT side. Zeph will get another one. Excuret and Bentet, the two players from Indonesia. No communication issues here for them, that is for sure. Great shot from Excuret, spots a couple more, but the repeak will get the better of him. Now it's on to Bentet. Timing is key for him here. They haven't spotted him out, and he'll get a free one onto Zeph. But now where does he look? A player above him, and a player past the oil train. He walks into both. That'll be the round for MVP.
Potential for them to pick up a double AWP here if they do want it, and it looks like they're juggling it over. HSK is going to be throwing that one.
Oh, yep.
There it is. He picks it up. Stacks and Zion going to have to be dropped guns. Not a clean round for MVP like they needed. So again, their economy is on the verge of collapse. TYLOO will be able to buy into this one, but they're probably going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of cash as well. So this, for both teams, could definitely be them playing for 2 here. Over on
Maybe we
TYLOO.
do get to 8 for TYLOO.
2 of their players have got 2k, but the rest of them are pretty broke. So yeah, this is definitely a case of MVP could be playing for 9-6, but TYLOO could also make this an 8-7 half. Again, utility exchange towards Ivy this time. Aggression out from HSK, punished for it by Fancy, who's been doing a fantastic job in this Ivy role.
Well, maybe onto Zeph again. The HE nade's not really posing too much of a threat for him, and he's a threat for TYLOO. You're absolutely correct. Bomb dropped into SL, and TYLOO are going to have a big mission to retrieve that one. Zeph, does he hear the drop? He just dodges the bullets and does get somebody. This will probably be the round now for MVP. Could have really turned on a dime. Extra just sees him, he's like,
what up?
crap.
Literally. I mean, he was heading towards the changing rooms. He was literally caught with his pants down on the way there.
Yeah.
Now, Summer, he opened up the round, but can't do anything past that.
Finally.
That was a man advantage for TYLOO as well, and then bent it. I mean, you have to say, what was that, mate? He just drops the bomb at Zeph's feet, and Zeph just goes, all right.
Okay.
I'll take it. Oh, man. Bit of a misplay there from TYLOO, an expensive one.
Yeah.
That's
finally a clean round for MVP. Perhaps a bit too late in the half, but...
Oh, yeah. But now they've earned this potentially easier round out of TYLOO. 2 AKs for the lads, a MAC-10 and 2 Deagles. Not much utility, so they're going to have to do a bit of a faster one time. He's going to drop the Molotov, and he's well aware that they could come storming out upper ramp. The rotation's coming out from Zeta and Zeph now.
Sign! He's like running up with a grenade in hand and just sees 3 players looking at him as he gets on top of the train. Not going to end well for him. Zeta, though, posted on the line, and he is having a better game now. Really getting it going with the AWP. Again, it's 2v4. Bentet an attacker this time. What are they going to be able to do? Attacker missing some shots, but makes amends for it. HSK goes down, and we're back up into the B halls now. The grenade's coming through. Attacker gets another one. But Zeph trades back, and it's just the Deagle for Bentet. Smoke is here for Stack, so a defuse in the smoke is possible. He's been spotted, and he surely knows where he is. The grenade through. What is going on? What am I watching?
I'm going to need to take a chill on that one. I'm not even going to try to analyze that.
Literally saw where he was. Did he think he ran out of ammo?
I don't know, but I think we're going to need to take a breather after that one.
Yeah, we definitely are. All right, guys. Everyone, go take a cold shower quickly in the break because this game is only getting crazier. Going to head into the second half after this.
Walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk on, baby.
Well, it's a bit of a fan favourite, that song in the break. Certainly a favourite of our friend Blair, who is having a good time watching this game. TYLOO and MVP, obviously a classic of Asian Counter-Strike, and I think we're getting a classic Asian Counter-Strike game tonight, aren't we, Pilly? It's 1:30 in the morning. We had OT on map number 2. Map 3's been just absolutely cooked. I mean, what more could you really want out of a game between TYLOO and MVP at this point?
I mean, last time it was a bit of a jailbait when I casted it in the group stage with Blair over in Indo, because we were like, oh man, TYLOO MVP, this one should be great, and then TYLOO kind of whooped him.
Yeah.
But this time, it's a bit different. So back and forth, crazy action. I've got a tension headache, but I'm still excited. I'm still ready and very here for this.
You totally sound like it, Pilly.
Yep. Unfortunately, by nature, I'm monotone, slumped over, and wow, look at that gaming mouse. Anybody, any idea what model that is?
What?
Is that an Intelli? That looks like an Intelli mouse to me.
God, this observer.
That's
amateur,
a classic.
Amateur.
I won't call him out by name, Jordan.
Neither will I. But look, I'm just going to have some words with MC after this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying who the observer is.
But there's one person I'm interested in.
But I am going out the back to talk to MC. See if he needs a new gaming mouse. The match is live, everybody.
Okay, so I had a point to make that I should have definitely made before, but I'll wait for a bit of a lull because I want to talk about this pistol. It's an important one.
We've already had a couple of lulls in this map.
Many lulls. All right, quick smoke over towards Ivy for MVP to try and pull. Actually, it's a smoke deep into CT con, and they're going to try and explode out lower. That's a nice trade.
I mean, somebody just. Well, I almost expected somebody to just flick around there and get HSK. 3v3 though, it leaves MVP with an opening here, but taking long-range aim battles like that against the USPs with just the Glocks, never going to work. Attacker does fall to Zeph. Bomb plant an attempt, but Summer is going to deny. And HSK won't last much longer either.
That's a nice pistol for MVP. They really sold that rotation in towards inner, but then came straight back towards outer. Molotov on CTCon to try to break the rotations down, but still two of those TYLOO players just chilled. They just waited there, and somebody really killing that player in towards TCon is probably what made them feel like, hey, why is there a guy in towards TCon here when all the lads are heading back towards inner?
Good one for TYLOO to win.
So,
yep.
TYLOO had a really strong start last time these two teams played on their CT side, but once MVP got rolling on their T side, TYLOO got, how many is this? 6 in a row to start things off, including pistol. And I'm just going to talk straight through this spray down that Vendet's about. Never mind, he's going to get nothing. It's a 1-for-1. He hasn't sprayed anything, but somebody, he's a maniac. He's run straight up the ladder. He's making cash. He's making bank. 600, 1200. That's 1800, and the 300 from the pistol. 2100. Quick
Very
maths.
good maths. Good
Thanks.
maths.
Anyway, TYLOO, they got 6 rounds in a row, including pistol. But then once MVP got rolling on their T side, they got 8 rounds to 1. Once they started to get T rounds on the board, they had a nice streak where it feels like they probably worked TYLOO out a little bit on their CT side, and they were able to get things rolling.
Well, what kind of adaptations has TYLOO made since then?
That's going to be the question.
They've
seen a lot of MVP's T side on this map very recently. So they could be that second level of mind games going on.
Yeah. Good buy round, though, for MVP. First of their half.
TYLOO's doing a bit of a throwaway, it looks like. Xcrit's going to keep the scout. Famas and UMP kept. Ooh,
Bang.
HSK off the back of the flash from Zion. See you, somebody.
Yeah. Not pleasant.
I think that's probably the ladder player as well. Dead. Dead in the water. What am I talking about? Zeph's the ladder player. On T and CT. Ladder is his city.
Okay.
He's a ladder goat. There's a throwback.
I remember that meme. It's not quite as funny now that I watch it when I'm like 24.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Many things are less funny once life's slowly started to beat you down.
Oh, okay, that's a bit grim. Xcrit also doing the dirty here on MVP. That's how they win the round. Xcrit, he's got an AK now, but he will be traded out by HSK. Still, even despite the opener that MVP gets in this round, and the awful buy that TYLOO had coming through, comparatively, they still put themselves in a winnable position. HSK and Zeta have no HP.
Options are endless at this point, though. For MVP, 40 seconds to go is going to be the big limiting factor at the time. Bentet, he was in SL, but it looks like he's probably going to make his way up the ladder and in towards inner. Fancy just going to chill in that CT connector. So, the push through Ivy will be unguarded by TYLOO. MVP, actually, Summer's up in towards the heaven here.
He should get at least one.
Oh, they're very low. He
probably can get both.
This is going to wet noodle both of them. Watch it.
Oh, well, he's playing a bit more safe now. Okay, there's the first.
Ooh,
one for one. That's probably expected, but look at this. Great position from Bentet. I was going to say, the longer it takes for MVP to get into the site, the more time it allows for Bentet to rotate into T-Con.
So, MVP, they got the opener, and then they did a very cool execute towards outer where they did just the 3 smokes on the bomb chain and the smoke towards Ivy as well. And TYLOO went, that's cool. How good are your smokes when I'm inside T-Con and at E-Box in front of them shooting you before you can make it out onto the train yard? And that was pretty much the story of that round.
Well, we go back to one of those classic MVP force buys.
Well, yeah, they're trying to make the best of it. TYLOO only had 1 alive, so they're under a bit of economic pressure.
Maybe not for much longer. Somebody gets 3. The laser back out in force. An attacker also putting in some work this round. It's over for MVP here. Zeta, I mean, sure, you could argue you can do some damage, but probably not much of a factor regardless.
Well, Jordan, I know you're not much of a stickler for history.
I mean, I like history.
But last time, this is what happened. TYLOO, they had a good start on the CT side. But after MVP started to get rolling, then they were pretty convincing. So we'll see how things go. MVP, they're starting to build up a fair bit of loss bonus here. Not really convincing enough money to have a cool buy into this one. And we saw what happened when they tried to force the issue in terms of buys on Mirage. It was not pretty. They kept trying to buy AK and armor and not good utility, and they were getting banged out of the server.
Yep.
They've learned from their mistakes. They will not be doing that on Train. We trained an even worse map to try and attempt something of that nature than Mirage.
A lot of utility used early here by MVP. Summer could get double peaked, but won't. And in the end, no concerns at all. Bit of eco frags. Make sure you had them stats.
More concerns for MVP as TYLOO, they didn't use many grenades in that round.
Yeah.
So, honestly, after winning that round, they probably had to spend something to the sum of like $1,000, $1,500 across the entire team in this gun round. Like, that's so much cash that they've been able to hold on to. Which means that's good things for the stability of the CT economy going forward on Train, which is going to allow them to really consistently string rounds together. And even if MVP do pick up rounds here or there, they're going to need to win a streak of rounds to break TYLOO's economy. And it's funny I should say that, because that's exactly what they did last time.
It's going to be a quicker play in toward B. Maybe not now from MVP. They've already been spotted. They've already taken some damage. And TYLOO just backs away. Zeph is caught between a rock and a hard place, but looks like he's going to get out okay. Bentet actually getting stacks with the grenade. The utility usage so far on the CT side from TYLOO has been very good.
They are out of util now at this point, though. Pretty much. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. EP, they're down a man. They have control of Brown Halls, although they had to lose stacks to get it. They are just waiting around for something to happen at the moment. And TYLOO, they're not pushing. They got aggressive before, but that was in a disadvantageous situation, and now they're in an advantageous situation. They don't feel like it's necessary. So here we go. Smoke deep into CT connector, and a smoke on the left side from MVP, as well as some Molotovs. Going to start to sell a bit of a rotation. Attacker on his way, somebody going as well. Flash over T-Con, sets up HSK to get on top of this blue train, or actually head out towards E-Box and swing wide, trying to catch somebody. But Fancy's got him covered.
Hasn't caught anyone. Zeph, long spray down, does eventually get executed, but Bentet's there for the trade. Bomb goes down now for MVP. They're going to desperately try to hang on, or Zeta's desperately going to try and hang on, because he's got 4 players headed in his direction. And, well, he's no Jon Snow. He's not going to be getting out of this one against all the odds.
Yeah, look. The riders on this particular game of Counter-Strike a little bit better than Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Not really a hard feat to be doing in the first place.
Wow, sounds like you might be a little bit salty. That's all I'm saying.
Regardless of all condiments aside, all spices aside and seasonings, MVP, that was a pretty decent attempt at the 4v5, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was pretty intelligent use of utility to push and pull rotates and pushing at the right times, but they just didn't win enough of the aim duels at the end of the day. And now TYLOO, what did they get? Did they get 9 or 6 last half? They got 6, right? 6 on the T side.
Yeah.
So last time these two guys played, TYLOO got 6 in a row as well. So this is the point where MVP the last time actually started to get things together after a pretty close first half.
It's not too little too late just yet. Like, this game still can hang in the balance if MVP can actually get something done
It
in
is
the half.
It is a pretty rough state of affairs, though, because TYLOO has such a strong economy at this point, and that's something that I can't really check up on. I don't know how close some of the rounds were. I know that MVP didn't win clutches to be able to convert those rounds. They were converting them just by, you know, good T-side strategies. But I have a feeling this is a really good scenario for TYLOO. They're definitely in the driver's seat. They've got a lot of cash to lead back on.
Yeah.
Means a lot of utility orgs and AWPs, as many as they want for the near future at least.
I mean, look, all you got to say is they're up 12-9 on CT side of Train. I think anyone's going to take that,
They got a lot of
regardless
cash.
the situation. From
And
here, you should be closing it out.
He's got a lot of information towards inners. He hasn't quite been tested by Zeph just yet. And somebody's in towards SL as well. MVP flashing on the line towards Ivy.
Oh, that's dangerous for Summer. Just waiting to see a shot come through that smoke from MVP. Particularly Zeta. No such shot comes. 47 seconds now left in the round. A bit of time has been spent by MVP for not a whole lot of return. They're starting to get control into toward SL, into T-Con, and toward Ivy. But it's very late in the round.
It's all going to be down to these aim duels, and there is 4 players for TYLOO on outers right now.
Yeah, Summer has set himself nicely on the line as well. Zion going to peek out and cops one in the head. Zeta going to try and trade, and he will. Zeph also chiming in for MVP, but the reality is that, like you said, too many TYLOO players on that A bomb site, and we are starting to get into the death throws now for MVP.
That's just because Zeph, even though he sat above SL the entire round and put pressure on somebody, he never tested Bente, who had full information of that Brown Halls area. MVP, they didn't run, how do I say it? They didn't run an extensive enough default. They had a 3-1-1 setup where Zeph was the only player towards inner, and the emphasis was put on Ivy. But they didn't use any sort of utility, or Zeph didn't really put any pressure on towards that inner area, and that just allowed TYLOO to have full information that, hey, no one's towards inner, which means you can just hit 4 players on that outside bomb site, just like MVP did on their CT side. And even though MVP, they can get those 2 trades in, at the end of the day, there's just too many angles to deal with in the late round for MVP. If they're not getting those clean entries, they're not going to be able to make anything happen. And again, hey, this is a story I've seen before. MVP trying to make a lackluster buy work against TYLOO's rock-solid CT side, and it's not a happy ending for MVP most times.
No, definitely not. Well, TYLOO, every time you see someone start to question them as the quote-unquote best team in Asia, they managed to put on a performance that, again, just throws a spanner in the works for that storyline. And this may well be one more of those. MVP not having much luck today. If they would have got the win here, really we would have had a big, big question over TYLOO, but that has been staved off, at least for now. Assuming TYLOO do win today. It's looking like they will. Execute on the B site, having some trouble up against Zeph, however. But attacker close should at least be able to equalize the numbers here.
Sinus wrapped
no, he
in
hasn't
behind
spotted
him with the Mac 10 as well.
Oh, yes.
There's still options here in this round for MVP. Summer stayed on this outside train yard, but Zion obviously is the big talking point.
Oh, timing. For Zion. Is he going to catch attacker? I think he does here. But if he strays too far forward, attacker's going to spot him. I think that's not the case. Double dink into the head. Zion finishes him off.
It's the molly on CT Con as well.
Summer can go for this though. There's so much money for TYLOO.
Sure.
And to be honest, that molly doesn't really buy that much time for MVP. So if he just rocks around the corner here, cleans up Zion, then all of a sudden we're into a 1v1. Doable, caught on the jump. Perfect timing from Zeta. 13-10. First round of the half though for MVP.
But the fact that TYLOO has about $1 million, he actually didn't have a kit. He didn't buy one. Attacker died with one though, so
I'm sure there would have been one, yeah.
he would have been able to pick it up. Hopefully. Regardless, MVP wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty. They didn't have the best buy, and they still don't, because they only had one alive, but they get the round. First of many that they'll need. TYLOO's economy starting to look a little bit more mortal. Taka with $250 in the bank. Extra and Summer getting a little bit lower, but everyone else doing fine. So, not quite securing what they need just yet from MVP, and this is going to be another hard-fought round. Somebody getting aggressive, getting some key information, utility flying over outer, only one set, and somebody could be ready for this, but Attacker, he's locking down that push out SL. The flash is coming over the top. MVP very split up, but Zeph's getting the key entries once again towards inner.
It's enough to equalize at the very least. Now MVP can start to take control of the bomb site itself. Zeph will drop though. And now there's real problems for MVP because, as you say, somebody rotating around. He's going to get out of there scot-free as well. Zeta will try to trade and can't quite manage it. Pistol, rather the bomb I should say, goes down. Now Zion, he didn't check attacker. What? They're like
His
ships
sense
in
is
a night.
so high that he didn't see Zion. Literally, he's flicked so aggressively that he didn't see Zion. If he had a lower sense, he literally would have seen him on his screen.
Literally.
How ridiculous is that?
That's ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That he's turning his mouse so fast that he can't see Zion.
He's got a Hadron Collider in the mouse.
Needs to relax. Needs to cool it down. I don't know, Zion. He's got himself an AK. Summer's
He's got 10
not got
seconds, man.
He's not got a whole lot of HP.
He's got 10 seconds. Well, he's going to hear the push here from Summer. If he hits a great shot, now it's doable. Ooh.
You're being a big hater.
I was getting ready. I was laying the groundwork for a great clutch. You say they're out of it.
First you say, there's no way they can do
No
this.
way.
Okay, one frag, whatever, man. Okay, you killed 4 people. Oh, he's done it.
He's done it.
Wow.
What a madman. Subverting expectations. Game of Thrones, Season 8. That's what it is.
Okay.
I've learned about it. That storytelling, man.
Yep.
I'm all about that.
What they teach you in story school. Oh, man. Could that be a storyline here? Because MVP is pretty down and out of it at this point. I don't know if they can necessarily come back into it.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
Tactical pause, though. Bit of time to think.
And Tyler's pretty good at train. They've impressed me, particularly with their T side.
Okay.
Another-
14-10.
Another not great buy out of MVP. They're fast down SL as well as heading towards this inner's area. Bentet, it's like he's winding himself up for a push in towards upper ramp, but he's going to call a cancel on that. A hard nope. Man, the timing could be here for MVP. They see Bentet going aggressive towards that upper ramp area. He's dropped all his utilities, bought time for the rotations to come in. Here's Attacker. Now somebody's made his way into SL as well, a key position that he could use to potentially flank MVP. Molotov doesn't actually quite make it through that smoke.
Scary. Scary now for MVP. Again, they've used a fair bit of time. They haven't really got that much map control. A lot of utility being spent here. But into the B bomb site, they're going to go once again. Attacker posted on the line, only gets one with the AUG. Now it's on to Bentet, who starts to creep on forward. Oh, Zeph spots him out. What is this, Bentet? That's the round. That's the Bentet round. And that'll be a round, surely, that puts TYLOO through to Occitane.
Oh my god, Zeph. We gave Ben10 a heart attack. You triggered Ben10 into his beast mode.
Yeah.
He's getting dropped on top of from upper end. Oh my god, and again, MVP. It's just another round where they just have rifles and not great utility, and they're just trying to make the best of it, but it's not enough. TYLOO, they've been too oppressive on train so far. Say what you like about MVP's streak of beating TYLOO on Mirage.
Doesn't matter if you can't win the best of 3.
Doesn't matter if you can't win the train.
Well, MVP will feel so close yet so far.
And I mean, now that TYLOO's shown us how good they are on train, that summer round, that summer round on Dust 2 has so much more meaning now. Because that could have been MVP 2-0 in the series.
Yep.
That could have been it.
Yeah, it could
It
have.
should have been.
Probably.
Alright, MVP. Let's see what you got. Bit of pressure on towards inside, but Ben10's still got full information, just spotting that out, so that's not going to cause a rotation. Attacker's still boosted on top of CTCon. Everyone else still very much committed towards outside, and MVP. Here we go. They're throwing what smokes they have. Flashes over the top. Attacker's already going to find a kill. Man disadvantage.
Well, Attacker, a 1-for-1. Execute misses a critical shot. Someone's going to continue to push down, though, and he might be the linchpin in this round. Doesn't actually get HSK. Sharp shot. That's what he needed to keep the round alive for MVP. Ben10 has the beast been awoken? Maybe so. Finds Zeph, high HP player. Stacks only has a Galil, and he's also been spotted. It's Ben10 again. 16-10. And I said it, man. I said it. That's the round that's going to bring Ben10 back. And we are here with TYLOO pushing us through